Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training website passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I will teach you how to pass a Skype interview, and in particular I am going to give you a number of Skype interview tips that will help you to pass your interview. So if you have a job interview coming up on Skype for any role whatsoever, please make sure you stay tuned, because this is what I will cover to help you. I am going to give you 11 essential Skype interview tips. You do not want to miss any of these tips. I will then give you example Skype interview questions and scripted answers that you can use. I will then give you 3 questions that you must ask at the end of your Skype interview. So when the interviewer says to you, that's the end of your Skype interview, do you have any questions for us? I will tell you exactly what to say. And I will then tell you how you can access further resources, including these slides and the answers, to help you succeed. Let's get straight into it. So we have 11 Skype interview tips to work through. Here is tip number 1. Do not neglect this tip. Download and install Skype at least 24 hours before your interview is due to start. Now, I have heard numerous stories of people downloading Skype 10 minutes before their interview starts, and there is an update that needs installing. You must make sure you are familiar with how Skype works. Make sure it is fully ready to go and you know how to navigate Skype, because this demonstrates to the interviewer that you are organized and professional. The last thing we need when your Skype interview starts is that you don't know how to use it, or you run into problems. So you can't say to the interviewer, "Oh, I'm really sorry, this is the first time I've used Skype," because you will fail your interview. So make sure you download Skype and you are familiar with how to use it. Skype interview tip number 2. Now, if you are wearing headphones and a microphone, check the settings on your computer, because the last thing you want to happen at the start of your Skype interview is to be unintentionally muted. This happens a lot. Make sure you test the sound, the microphone and your speakers on the computer or laptop you are using before the interview starts. Skype interview tip number 3. Choose the room you will undertake the Skype interview in carefully. What does it look like behind you? Is there sufficient lighting in the room? We want the background of the room you are in to look professional. Now, that can be achieved simply by having a plain background. That works absolutely fine for online Skype job interviews. Skype interview tip number 4. Tell everyone in your household not to disturb you for the duration of your Skype interview, because if someone walks into the interview room, it looks very unprofessional. And if you have any pets in your household, make sure you keep them out of the room. The last thing you want is your pet jumping up on your table. Make sure there is no background noise as well from your phone. Make sure it's on silent or turn it off, and we don't want any noise from external traffic. Skype interview tip number 5. Now, make sure you have a strong internet connection or Wi-Fi connection, because we don't want it to cut out during the interview. Turn off notifications on your computer or laptop, and make sure you plug in your device. Plug in your computer or laptop to the mains electricity supply. The last thing you need is to run out of electricity. Skype interview tip number 6. Now, practice your answer to the interview question, "Tell me about yourself," before the Skype interview starts. So the first thing the interviewer will say to you at the start of your Skype interview is, "Tell me about yourself." Now, when you structure your answer to this first interview question, my advice is to use the format of seat. And you can remember this because you will be sitting in a seat when you undertake your Skype interview. Now, seat stands for skills and qualities you have that match the job description. E is for experience you have relevant to the role you are applying for. Now, if you have no work experience because you are a fresher or this is your first job interview, talk about your educational qualifications. A is for achievements you have gained professionally or personally. So we want to talk about something that you have achieved of significance, preferably at work, if not outside of work. And then finish off and tell them the type of person you are and how you will help their company to grow and improve if they hire you. So the first question is going to be, tell me about yourself. Remember that format, SEAT, S-E-A-T. So let me now give you an example answer to that first Skype interview question. Tell me about yourself. And I'm going to use that format, S-E-A-T. Here we go. Thank you for inviting me to this Skype interview today. I have studied the job description and the skills and qualities I have are a strong match for the position. I am a good collaborator and I work very well with different people within a team. I am an excellent communicator and I will always represent your company in a positive manner whilst dealing with customers. I am a strong problem solver and I remain calm whenever under pressure. I am also a creative person who will work hard to seek ways to help your company grow. Now, I have lots of experience that will help me to thrive in this role. For example, in my last job, I often worked on challenging projects with other people. We had to use each other's strengths to make sure the project was completed on time and to the right standard. I also have lots of experience dealing with challenging customers and clients, and I always go out of my way to meet their needs. I would consider myself to be a high achiever. For example, in my last role, we needed to increase sales and I came up with an innovative marketing method to attract more clients and customers by using the power of LinkedIn. Sales grew by 15% after using that method. Finally, I am the type of person who is trustworthy, loyal, committed and dedicated to continuous improvement. Now, I appreciate you have lots of candidates to choose from, but I genuinely believe you will quickly see a positive return on your investment if you hire me. That's a brilliant answer to that first question. Tell me about yourself, and then it sets you up with confidence for the rest of your interview. So don't forget to use the format SEAT, S-E-A-T, when you answer the question, tell me about yourself. Skype interview tip number 7. Do not hold your phone during the Skype interview. Now, if you have no other choice but to undertake the Skype interview using your smartphone or iPhone, do not hold it in your hands. Instead, get yourself a tripod. Get a cheap tripod from Amazon to make sure the phone is steady. Make sure the phone is placed in landscape like that for the Skype interview. Now, a link to purchase the tripod on Amazon is in the description below the video for you. Skype interview tip number 8. Make sure, please, you smile during your Skype interview. Now, because the interview is online, you must work harder to create a positive, good impression. And one way you can do that is to smile during your Skype interview. Skype interview tip number 9. Think carefully about your strengths and weaknesses. Now, during your Skype interview, you will get asked the interview question, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Here are 3 important tips for structuring your answer to this common Skype interview question. Tip number 1, give the interviewer 4 or 5 strengths that match the job you are applying for. Tip number 2, then give just 1 weakness that will do your chances of success no harm. And I will tell you what to say in a second. Tip number 3, tell the interviewer what you are doing to work on your weaknesses. Let me now give you an example scripted answer to that Skype interview question. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Here we go. My greatest strengths include the fact that I can be left alone to complete tasks on time and to a high standard. I can solve difficult problems and I am not afraid to get involved with tasks that other people may not want to do. For example, we had an issue in my last job where a supplier kept letting us down, which was then impacting on our customers' deliveries. And I was given the task to contact all customers to apologise for the delays and to keep them updated. Now, I was very good at winning around the customers and keeping them on board. Other strengths include the fact that I am a very fast learner and I always take responsibility for my own professional development. I will always improve and grow within this role. Now, my weakness is the fact that I'm not very good at giving people honest feedback. I tend to be nice to everyone instead of telling them exactly how it is. However, I am trying to improve in this area, and if you see anything about my work that you need me to change, just let me know and I will take the action needed. That's a brilliant structured answer to that question. What are your strengths and weaknesses? You know it's going to come up during your Skype interview, so make sure you prepare an answer. Skype interview tip number 10. Make sure you dress professionally for your Skype interview. Dress as if it were a face-to-face interview. Some people think because it's online and it's via Skype, they don't need to put in any effort. That's not true. The interviewer will assess how you dress during your Skype interview, so look the part. Skype interview tip number 11. This is really important. Make sure you have 3 questions ready to ask at the end of your Skype interview. Now, the interviewer will give you the chance to ask some questions of your own. Here are 3 smart questions that you can ask during your Skype interview. So we get to the end of the interview and the hiring manager says, that's the end of the interview. Do you have any questions? Yes. My first question is, what advice would you give to the successful candidate who wants to do well in this job? That's a great question, a smart question. Question number 2, what has frustrated you about people who have held this or similar positions in the past? That shows that you don't want to make the same mistakes that they have. It's a great question. Number 3, what would you need me to concentrate on in the first 30 days of starting? So you are visualizing yourself in the role, and it also gets the interviewer to visualize you in the role too. So it's a very smart question to ask at the end of your Skype interview. Now, if you would like a copy of these slides and also my top 22 Skype interview questions and answers, click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video. It will take you through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my 22 Skype interview questions and top scoring answers and these slides as a bonus. That guide will make a massive difference to your performance at your Skype interview. Make sure you get yourself a copy. Finally, if you are on LinkedIn, make sure you connect with me. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video. Please give this video a like. That motivates me to create more content for you. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the videos I am uploading. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best for passing your Skype interview. Have a brilliant day.